Now let's cross to Dr. Hooshang Amirahmadi. He's president of the American Iranian Council, joining us live on RT International. Sir, hi there. Well, look, you're looking very closely at this, of course. What's your best judgment of what's going to happen here? Do you think this deadline is going to be met or missed as it stands at the moment?
Well, this self-imposed deadline will be most likely missed. I don't believe there will be another deadline set, and they will keep negotiation flooding as well as the day they may reach an agreement, meaning that we will not expect another deadline, but we will expect a continuation of this negotiation in the next few days, weeks, perhaps months. So that's what my take is at this point. But then again, on both sides have always surprised us, and particularly the Iranian side, which is always the government of last minute. They may come back and surprise everybody with a new idea.
Do you think the will is there by all parties to get this sorted out? I mean, obviously every side wants the best deal they can get. Both sides want the best deal they can get. But is the will there, or is the will waning as this goes on and on?
Well, obviously, there must be some level of political will there, because they have been negotiating intensely for almost 2 years now. I have always said and continue to believe that the American side want Iran's nuclear facilities melted gradually out, and along with that, a gradual lifting of sanctions take place. I don't believe that they really are prepared for a quote-unquote comprehensive deal that will lock up all kinds of details for, let's say, 10, 15 years. That's not the way Americans really behave in international relations. They just don't, they have never wanted to be locked up to a particular situation, particularly when it comes to a multilateral situation where you have the UN and all members of the Security Council and permanent members. So again, yes, there is some kind of a political will, at least halfway, but I think that will is not fully for a comprehensive deal, but rather for melting this problem away gradually.
Final thought, the main stalling points here in the negotiations are, as you see them?
Well, I mean, obviously on both sides, the US and Iran have claimed that there has been different understanding in Lausanne. For one thing, Lausanne was not an agreement, it was an understanding. And second, that understanding was very different in Washington and Tehran. And so what you see now is that differences in understanding, and then because there was not agreement, nobody is hold on to this, any particular parameter, so-called, that they have agreed to, particularly on the issues of inspection of the Iranian military side, interviewing Iranian scientists, and lifting of sanctions gradually or at once. So, and also there are problems with the level and of the restrictions that the 5+1 wants to put on Iran's, R&D, nuclear R&D, research and development, and the function of the Fardo underground site. So there are lots of holes out there, and all of this, emotional, sensational statements are designed to set the stage for some kind of a public environment, as opposed to something that really actually is happening there. Understood. I have to say, unfortunately, both sides have been lying to publics extensively over the last 2 years about what really actually happens in Lausanne, Geneva, or in Vienna.
Doctor, sorry to interrupt. We're a little out of time. We could talk about this so much more. I'll let you go and get your front door. I think the postman might be there. Thank you for your time, Dr. Hooshang Amirahmadi, founder and president of the American Iranian Council. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.